Hello everyone, welcome to Go VM Lab VMware tutorial series for beginners, lecture number 64. How to assign vCenter roles to vSphere users. Now in the previous lecture, we had discussed about a basic vCenter server permissions model. In the previous lecture, we learned about how do we go and create roles. We have explored various sample roles created by VMware. We also discussed about how the privileges can be mapped to a specific role. And not only that, we also created a custom level 2 engineer role for a virtual machine user, and then we assign a specific set of privileges, a basic virtual machine interaction like powering on, powering off the virtual machine. And not only that, we also provided a custom privileges like a snapshot management, where that user can go and create a snapshot capabilities. Now, in this particular lecture, what we're going to focus on is basically we are going to create a set of user or a group, and then we're going to bind this particular user or group to this particular rules, the rules what we have created. And then we're going to see that how these permissions can be enforced, or these permissions can enforce to the vSphere object, and how this entire RBAC role-based access control model really help us out to protect our vSphere environment in a much more secure way. So let's go and create a vSphere users, and let's bind our custom role with this vSphere users. As you could see that we are logged in to our vCenter server savcsa01.govmlab.local. Now let's go and browse our vCenter inventory. So we have a data center created as SA data center. Let's go and browse our data center. Within that data center, we have a SA cluster created, and we also have a standalone ESXi host added to our SA data center. Now let's go and browse our SA cluster. So we do see that we have a 2-node cluster created, and within that 2-node cluster, we have two VMs which are running on that particular cluster. Now let's go and browse our standalone ESXi host, and we do see that there is a one VM which is running on this standalone ESXi host SA ESXi 05. Now before we go ahead and create a vSphere users, let's go and browse through that role what we have created in our previous lecture. So click on menu, click on administration, click on roles, and that is the role what we have created in our previous lecture. So the folks who have not seen our previous lecture, please go and watch out our previous lecture where we have discussed about how do we go and create these custom roles. So as you could see that this is the custom role Go VM Lab level 2 engineer virtual machine user role what we have created. And if we look at the privileges of this particular role, click on privileges, and we do see that it has a basic virtual machine user interaction privileges where it can power off, it can power on the VM, it can reset the VM, it can suspend the VM, and it can also attach a CD or floppy drive to a virtual machine. But not only that, this user can also have a capability for snapshot management, where this user can go and create snapshot, it can remove the snapshot, and it can rename and revert the snapshot. So that's the rule what we have created in our previous lecture. Now let's go and create our vSphere users, and let's go and bind this rule with our vSphere user. So for that, click on users and groups. Now as of now, we are just going with the default domain, default SSO domain, which is our vsphere.local, which you rightly see it here. So this is our default vsphere.local SSO domain. So let's select this particular domain and let's create a user within that particular domain. Now, if you look at this particular UI, we do have a few sample rules created. So these are like a system rules what vSphere creates for its own internal operations. But that's a one user what gets created as a part of our vCenter installation, which is our administrator user. And this particular administrator user is the super user, as we all know and very well aware of that. Now what we're gonna do now, we are actually gonna go and create a new user. So to do that, click on add user. Now give a username. So let's give a name as John is our username. Let's give a password as John at the rate of 123. Let's give a password to our user. Now what it says that? It says that please enter a valid password, which means that we are not meeting the password complexity. So to do that, let's go and give a little bit complex password. Now as you could see that now we have able to satisfy the password complexity requirement. First name, we can say that it's a John. That's fine. If you want to give last name, email, or description, we can say that John is level 1 user. Click on add. And now as you could see that a new user called John has successfully created. Now, what is the next thing we're gonna do now? We're actually gonna go and create one more user. Let's create one more user name as Smith. Give a password to that particular user. So give a password to our Smith user. And again, if you want to give your first name, last name, email, it's all fine. And this user will also have L1 permissions. Okay, so that is these both the users, John and Smith, are going to be our L1 user. And we do see that both of these users have been successfully created for our domain. Look at that, very important thing is domain. These users scope is limited to our vCenter SSO domain, that is vsphere.local. Now let's go and assign permissions or bind that role to this particular user. Now for binding that role to that particular user, if you remember, we need to define that object. Which object I want to push or apply this particular rules. So click on host and clusters. And let's say that I would like to assign this particular role at the entire data center level. So I click on the data center as a vSphere object. Now we can define these permissions at every vSphere object level. So let me show you that. If you click on data center, you have something called permissions tab right here. Similarly, when you click on the cluster, at the cluster level also you have a permissions tab. You click at the host level, that is again a vSphere object. You will have a permissions, right? So as I told you, or as we have discussed, that these permissions can be defined at every vSphere object level. So what we gonna do, we actually gonna define these permissions at the data center level. So click on permissions, click on add icon, and now here is the first thing, we need to define the domain. So we have chosen our domain for our user is a vsphere.local. So select vsphere.local and now type a name of that user. So we have given a name as a John. So the system is gonna go and define that John user. Now click on this drop down and select that role which we want to assign to this particular user. And as you do see that, that is the role what we have created, and this is the role which we want to map it to our user. So click on that particular role. And one of the very important thing to notice here is propagate to children. Now what does that mean? It means that I am creating this particular role at an object level is SA data center, which is my data center object. But now if I select this option called propagate to children, which means that all this object hierarchy which is coming inside my data center, for example, if you look at that cluster, if you look at that in this particular diagram, the entire hierarchy which is coming, hierarchy of objects which is coming under data center is cluster, host, VMs. These permissions will be propagated to not only the object where we are creating these permissions, but these particular permissions will be propagated to the hierarchical objects as well. So that's what the meaning of propagating it to the children. So we always, obviously, we always want to make sure that we actually go and propagate these permissions not only at the object level but also at the children objects as well, or we actually push these policies to the all the objects hierarchy which is coming under that root object where we have created this permission. So we have selected propagate to children, Click on OK. And now we do see that there is a user which actually, so we have assigned a permission to a data center object, and there is a user called John at the rate of vsphere.local will be having a level 2 engineer permission. So now you click at the cluster level and look at that. When I told you that it's about propagating to the children, you will see that the same user role has been pushed to our cluster object as well, though we have not created that particular permission at the cluster object level. Similarly, if you click at the host level also you will see that a new user has got added and which has a virtual machine L2 engineer permissions. Similarly, you will be seeing the same things at the VM level as well, because we selected option as propagate to children, which means all these permissions will be pushed not only to the object where we have created this permission, it will also be propagated to all the child objects which are actually falling under that parent object. So now we have created this particular rule successfully. Now before we go and validate that, let me show you that propagate to children, what happens if you don't select this particular option. So now let me go and create a new user with the Smith user what we have created. So the domain is going to be the same. So we are going to use the same domain, but now this time we are going to use user as Smith. So we do see that Smith user right here. And let's go and select the same GoVM Lab level 2 engineer role. But this time, the thing to notice here is that we are not propagating to the children objects, which means that this particular role or permissions will be created only at the data center object level. It will never be seen on the cluster or the host object level. So let's go click on OK. And now as you do see that the Smith user has been created at this SA data center object level. Now let's go and check it out. Do we see the same user at the cluster level also? So for that, click on the cluster and look at that. We don't see this particular user. We don't see any Smith user at the cluster level, as you rightly see that. You click on the host also, as you could see that we don't see any Smith user at the host level also, which clearly proves that propagating to children option, if we select it, then only the same permission will be forwarded or will be pushed to all the child objects of that particular parent object where we have created this permissions. So now let's go and validate the permission of the John users, and let's see that what all the operations it can do. So to do that, let's log out from our administrator privileges and let's log in with our user called John. So give a username as John at the rate of vsphere.local. So that's the user what we have created, John at the rate of vsphere.local. Provide a password of our John user. Click on login, and as you could see that we have successfully logged in to our John user. But now you do see that because we have not given the all the required set of permissions. So first thing you could see that we are logged in through John at the rate of vsphere.local, and it clearly says that you have no privileges to view this object because we have not given permission at the vCenter object level. Now let's go and browse our data center because it's a virtual machine user. So when you click at the virtual machine, so if you look at the cluster level, you do see that. Now when you click at the virtual machine, you do see that this John user can go and access our virtual machine objects. Now let's see that what all operations a John user can do. Right click on it, click on power on, power off. All the virtual machine related operations this John user can do it, but can he do clone to virtual machine? Look at that. It cannot do any kind of virtual machine provisioning. As you rightly see that the clone to virtual machine or clone to template, it cannot do it. Can he rename that virtual machine? He cannot rename that virtual machine. Can this user remove the virtual machine from inventory? Can this user delete virtual machine? It cannot do that. It does not have those access. But What about snapshot? Can he create a snapshot? Yes, he can take a snapshot, he can manage the snapshot, and he can do everything around the snapshot. What about templates? It does not have template accessibility. What about editing? What about adding a new disk? Does it have access to it? As you rightly see that everything is grayed out, which means that this user does not have access to add a new drive to a virtual machine, add a new adapter to a virtual machine because it does not have those set of privileges. So as you could see that this conclude our lecture on enabling role-based access control in our vSphere environment, where we have seen that the permissions what we have defined for our users, the user can only perform the operations as per the privileges which have been assigned to this particular user. In the next lecture, let's go and create one more role, maybe something called network administrator, and let's just see that as a network administrator, a network administrator can go and perform anything and everything around the virtual machines. We hope you enjoyed this lecture. Thanks for your time. Please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you.